Good morning, guys. Welcome back. This is video number 5. Today we're going to talk about our retinal camera, which is the Topcon TRC NW8, and it reads non-mydriatic retinal camera. And you all know from lecture last semester, mydriatic is the eye drop that dilates. So this tells me, just from the outside casing, that because this particular machine is the way it is, I do not need to have an eye drop or a dilated pupil to take a good retinal photo. If you look at the whole unit, you'll see that there is a computer tower. In some practices, this is all hooked up electronically room to room, so you don't have to worry about that. But in our particular VC141, this is hooked up to this particular tower. Every day when you come in, the tower is already on. I turned it on this morning. I'm just going to hit the monitor and turn that on. Okay, and it brings up this screen. So turning on is very easy. This particular setup here in front of me is actually the important part of what we're going to talk about today. So it is basically a camera. It's a nice little camera that's mounted on top of this unit. This takes pictures of external and internal structures of the eye, and on the side of it is the on switch. So I'm going to go ahead and turn that on. And you hear all sorts of fabulous little noises. It's going to be sort of self-calibrating. And if we wait just a moment, we'll see the screen engage. And it tells me. There we go, beautiful. TRC NW8, ready to roll. All right. I'm going to come around the back of the screen. And on this side, this is going to be the patient's side. So a couple preparations. One is the removal of your lens cap. So it is a camera hooked to a large unit. This is the camera lens. So we always want to keep that clean and covered every night. This is a fixation device. If you wish the patient to look at a certain spot, you might use that as well. This is the chin rest, the forehead rest, and we need to know how to set this up as well. So let's go back to this side. Patient setup is very important. So just like anything else in any of our other videos, we can always raise and lower the patient to adjust the height. We're going to be able to raise and lower the chin rest. Let me see if I can move out a little bit. You see the chin rest over here on the other side, and these buttons here, this raises and lowers the chin rest, so we have the patient properly aligned height-wise. Again, every instrument has a secret little notch somewhere that shows you that once you get the chin rest and the forehead set up, if their eye is at this level, they're going to be looking right down into the aperture. So the other thing would be raise and lower their chair. So a little wiggle room. Some of the verbiage might be, we're going to take a picture of the back of your eye and record the findings for the doctor, and I'm going to have you rest your chin in the chin rest your forehead against the bar. Of course, after I clean it with an alcohol prep, and you want the person comfortable, because this is a very important, we're taking a picture, we don't want them wiggling around, so we want them to be resting fully on the chin rest, forehead engaged against the bar. Don't be afraid to ever touch your patient forehead. I want your forehead here against the bar. So today we're taking a picture, obviously, of the invisible man. There's a lot of other features on this camera, and there's little slides indicators. There's ways to take a fully red retinal picture. You might want to take it in gray tone. That would be specifically asked for by the doctor. So you just follow whatever instructions you have. So here, I'm going back to the computer monitor, and I'm bringing up, there's a couple different ways you can bring up a patient. So I'm going to look here, and if I go up here in the corner, it's to patient. I can click on that, and I can either select the patient, register a patient, delete a patient, and if I were hooked To other rooms in a medical practice, I might import information or export maybe to another practitioner electronically. But I'm going to select a patient. And as soon as I click on that, it's going to bring this up. So this is a listing of everybody that I've taken pictures of, and I've deleted them over the years, so not everybody's in here. And this is just for our VC141 people, so there's no privacy issues. These are all students that have been here and playing with the machine, literally. If you notice when you enter a patient, so let's just say we're going to register. Whoops. Let's just say we're going to register a new patient. It's going to come up with this box. An ID code, last name, first name, birth date, gender, and so on. So this is how you register someone, but you have to be very particular about how you're doing it. And that takes us back to the other screen. So if I'm going to select a patient, notice how these have been entered. Now, I've been not specific about how to register a patient when it comes to how do you write their name, except for I'm telling people, of course, don't be shy. Ask, how do you spell your name exactly? But the one thing I was not particular about, and I've created a little bit of a mess, is if you look, and it's okay because this is just for learning purposes, but do you see how this is all capital letters? And now this is upper and lowercase. And if you're looking for someone who has already had a record in this particular system, you think, oh goodness, I'm already at the end of the alphabet and I don't see your name, but wait, here are all the patients that were registered with simply lowercase. Or, just to make things more interesting, how about the last name is in lowercase, the first name is in uppercase. So depending on, or initials, or cute fun names, or whatever. So make sure that whatever the protocol is for the practice that you're working in, that you follow that protocol exactly, because you can't have inconsistencies in patient recording. Okay. So let's go down and see if we can find images. So this particular person has 7 pictures. This is the right eye, taken in May, left eye, right eye, left eye, right eye. Everything has a date, tells them which angle they were looking at. Let's look at a couple of pictures. This is kind of a crummy picture because it's super out of focus. We probably should have deleted that one. This one's a little dark. Turn off the light. This one, a little bit dark over here, but you can still see the structures. This one's actually pretty good. There's a little too much light here, but it still can show good structure. This one's a really nice one. Again, there's still a little bit of residual light on the outside, but I still consider this a good picture. So if a doctor's going to take a series of pictures, when you have the patient looking through the aperture, there's a little stimulus light that sometimes you can move around. And depending on where the person is moving, the location of the structures are going to be in a different part of the picture. So you can map out multiple pictures, merge them, and so on. So I'm going to turn this off and turn this off. So you can see recording the information is quite important. So if I go down to the capture bar and bring it up, I can select a patient here and say, okay, we're going to add more pictures to their file. So even though they had pictures taken in May, we're going to take some more. So in order to start a new patient or a patient that's already been here, you come to the bottom of the capture bar screen and you click. And it's not looking. It's a very faint, but you see where it says right here. So this says any picture I take right now is going to be recorded as the right eye. So we're ready to go. So now I have that patient. I cleaned up the instrument. They're sitting comfortably. Chin is resting here, forehead against the bar, and they're looking into the aperture. So I tell the person that there's a little light, flashing light in there. Just look straight at it and see if we can even, I can find it somewhere in there. Let's see if I can get it. There is the light. See how it's flashing? You say, just keep looking at that flashing light, and you have to then move the machine around so you have a good picture of the front of their eye. And as you move closer towards them, the machine will then record the picture. So you're going to go from outside where you see their lids and lashes, and you're going to move the machine in closer and closer and closer. You'll go past the iris, past the pupil, and then you'll begin to see a sort of a gray image of the retina. You'll see the veins and so on. Once, and if you see, I don't have a patient with me because I'm working alone on campus. I know I mentioned that very thing every single video I've made for you. And I'm just trying to, every once in a while you'll see these two rectangular boxes. They're flashing yellow, they're flashing green. If I had someone on the other side of this camera, you would actually see their eye. Then you would see the iris as I move forward towards them. And then eventually you'll see the retina as I described before. And if these two boxes are perfectly aligned in the center of the parentheses and they are green, I can then hit the button. Now, because I find this machine has a little, it's not super smooth in movement, and you don't have to move much to be in or out of focus. So there are times when I do just gently put my left hand here while I work the toggle switch. This higher or lower, focus in and out, chin rest. We're all set up, move it in, double bars in the parentheses, flash a picture, and in a second, it comes up here as an image, and then I save it. To save an image, I either go up to this, where is it? Apologize for my lovely video talent, not right there, or I go up to File and Save, and I can save the images that I've collected today. I would suggest, I would suggest that take the right eye first. Let's see, get in here. Take the right eye first. Then take the left eye. Then, if you're happy with your images, you go up to the corner and you file and save. If you take as many pictures as you wish before you save them, then you only have to save once. If you take the image of the right eye and decide to save it, when you go to take the left eye, you have to then select a patient, go in, bring up the capture bar, and set up the left eye and do it again. So it's just a couple more steps. Nothing's ever a big deal. It's just a time-saving measure. So this particular machine, our Topcon, is not hooked to a printer. So I usually tell students, just take a picture with your phone if you get a great image, just for fun. So that's basics of our TRC NW8. Happy writing, stay healthy, stay home.